Hello, everyone. It's Amri from Recruiterflow. So today we are going to cover some of the features that we released in the last quarter. What do these features mean? How can they add value to your workflow? Quarter has been really interesting for Recruiterflow. We launched not one, but close to 5 to 6 new features, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is going to be one of our biggest plays in the coming year, as well as the next coming quarter. So you'll see a lot of releases out there. We'll be covering all of those. So the way we are going to talk about today's webinar, so we'll first discuss where Recruiterflow is heading in terms of our feature pipeline in next quarter, in next year. We'll talk about some of the releases that we plan to do later this year and next year. Then we'll just quickly go through all the features that we released in Q3, some of the major ones. Then we probably cover what we will be releasing in the coming quarter. There are many more things coming up this quarter by December. I'm pretty sure that some of these would really help you hire faster and better. And then in the end or during the webinar as well, if you have any questions, feel free to let us know. Our team is here. We'll be more than happy to answer these questions. Now, coming to where we are headed. So starting from this year, we are betting heavily on artificial intelligence. So what we fundamentally believe that we are currently sitting at a technological evolution, which probably comes in once a decade. We had cloud, we had mobile, and now we have AI. So AI, what we fundamentally believe, which might be different from other players, is that we believe AI is here to augment recruiters, not replace them. The core job of AI should be to increase the accuracy and the velocity of a recruiter's intuition. We don't believe that AI can replace what a recruiter can do. AI cannot build relationships. AI cannot take decisions based on intuition, but it can always help you make these decisions in a better, in a faster, and in a more accurate way. So in the end, recruiters can focus on making those conversations, building those relationships, closing those roles and new deals, while AI can do all the heavy lifting for you. In the long run, a recruiter enabled by AI or an agency enabled by AI should be able to increase their average revenue per recruiter. Now, what we believe is that AI should fundamentally be embedded in your workflow. That means that whatever you do today, if AI can help you do it probably 1.5x or 2x better. That's what we are looking at. And that's what we'll be discussing, some of the features that we released this quarter or what we'll release next year. We'll probably discuss those as well. So some of the biggest release we did was under AIRA ecosystem. So AIRA is essentially your digital twin or your recruiter's digital twin, which enables you to do more with the same team. So it is designed in such a way that you can focus on building relationship and having those conversations as a recruiter, while AIRA does the heavy lifting for you. There are multiple agents when it comes to AIRA. So some of the agents that we launched this quarter are AIRA Notetaker, the entire AIRA Agent Hub, Update CRM Agent, Submission Agent, Job Change Alert, and AIRA Matchmaker. We'll probably be going into all of these agents really quickly and give you a glimpse of what each of these are. The first one on the list, but before we go further, would love to, we have a poll that our team is running, would love to understand from you that how are you using Notetaker right now? In today's day and age, everyone, including me or our sales team, our product team, the customer success team, everyone uses Notetaker for a different reason. Obviously for recording calls, but for much more as well. So we'd love to understand how you are using. As we can see from the polls here, most of the users are currently either using it for concise summary, which can be shared with team, or reduce manual note-taking fatigue. So this is what I think the first version of note takers were all about. How you can capture notes, how you can capture transcripts, and how essentially you can get all of these inside and store it on your CRM. However, as we have progressed, note takers have also evolved. So the AIRA note taker not only records your calls and transcribes it on platforms like Zoom, Meet, Teams, but it also integrates with your phone or telephony providers like Zoom Phone, Twilio, RingCentral, Aircon. So any communication that your team makes is essentially captured via our APIs or through our bot, is brought to Recruiterflow, is transcribed and summarized. Now you can create your own templates and summaries to store information the way you want so that it can be easily be shared with your client. It can be easily be shared with your team. Now, this is what the basic note taker should do, but we plan to do much more. For instance, starting from next week or this month itself, you will have an app option to chat with a meeting. So you'll see AIRA on a meeting itself, where you'll be able to ask questions about a meeting to AIRA, and it should be able to answer. It will answer you. Apart from this, we're also releasing our agent ecosystem on AIRA. So essentially, after you finish a call, the system will automatically update all the fields, be it system fields or custom fields, based on the conversation that you have with the candidate. A note or a summary in side note doesn't add any value, but adds value as you keep storing all of this information. It helps you update the CRM automatically. It helps you get more information from all the context that you have. You as an agency already have a lot of context around candidates, around job, around different functions, industries. Now, how you can get more value from this, all of this context that you have, which is scattered across notes, emails, call logs, transcript, is what we'll be working on. Just imagine you go on a call and you finish a call. AIRA note taker automatically summarizes the call, transcribes the call, logs in on Recruiterflow, and then goes and updates your CRM automatically. You as a recruiter don't have to do anything. You probably just can keep focusing on building relationships and not on doing manual redundant tasks. One of the interesting concepts that we will be working on next year is something called Hive Mind, where we'll try to get you more context aware knowledge or insights from all the unstructured data that you have on a database. So when you talk about unstructured, all the emails, all the call logs, all the transcripts, how you can prompt all of these data points and get answers to what you want. So you can ask it like how different roles, what should be my method for closing role in certain industry. It will go through all the context that it has, and it will try to suggest you answers from the historical context. These are some of the advancements to note taker that we are working on. Let me quickly show you what the current note taker looks like. So for people who have note taker enabled, it's already live. We have a bot as well that joins your call on Zoom, Meet, or Teams. All your calls are logged here. You can also see which platform was used to log calls. So it can be Google Meet, Teams, Zoom. It can also be a cloud telephony provider like a Twilio for audio call, RingCentral, Aircon, or Zoom Phone. All of your calls are logged here. You can apply filters. And you can also quickly open a call and see all the information about this particular call or candidate. So out here, we have created a recruiter candidate call summary template where I have prompted it to store certain information and divide the template into multiple sections. So we can just go through this and see we have a TLDR, we have snapshot, we have all the strength, we have outlined everything in a bulleted style. And if you want to know why it's suggesting certain values, you can just come here on this AIRA icon and click here to see at what point in time did the candidate suggested the salary that they're looking at. Anything that Recruiterflow AI suggests, we have a reasoning behind it. You can always see the reasoning of why this is being suggested so that you have more context about the decisions that are being taken. So you can see it, all of that. You can go through transcript. You can find different details. Now, this call will be logged on your candidate or contact profile as well. So if I, let's say, go to Kevin's profile, this call will be logged there as well. Next few things that we are working on here are AIRA Insight. So you can see here, all these calls are already logged here. So you can see AI summary recording, all of this can be recorded. We'll be releasing AIRA on a call page, then task agent on the call page this month itself. And then once that's released, we'll have multiple agents working on the call page. One of them probably releasing next to next week, and quite a few of them coming on in this month and next as well. We have a quick poll before we jump on to the next feature. So the next feature is going to be all about agents that will do heavy lifting for you. So we have a quick question about how do you currently maintain data hygiene? Because all of us go on calls, all of us have a lot of data, but nobody wants to update the CRM. Then in today's day and age, when there is so much information around, how do you go about input? So as we can see from the results currently, a lot of people depend on manual edits when needed. It's very good for candidates who are being submitted or interviewed. Obviously, you want to capture all the information and you want to make your data structured so that you can rely on your data in future. We are going to touch upon this topic as well in today's webinar. But I think, yeah, this is a clear trend that we can see that most of our users or most of the users essentially do for maintaining the data sanctity of the database. They do manual edits whenever it's needed. Now that brings me to the next bit in today's webinar, some of the features that we released. That is going to be, so this is the result for today. The next bit that we'll be discussing today is going to be AIRA Agent Hub. So AIRA Agent Hub is essentially a recruiter's digital twin that enables you to focus on conversations and building relationship while AIRA does all the heavy lifting for you. When we say heavy lifting, it could be content generation, it could be encoding a profile or automatically updating CRM. It could be going out there and doing research on your behalf. The scope is wide and we are just getting started on this. It could be something like getting the salary trend for different industry, different verticals. So we have launched AIRA Agents Hub this quarter with few agents, and we have close to 12.5 agents coming in the next 2 months. The first interesting agent that we released is the CRM update agent. Now, I have never heard someone saying that they love updating their CRM. No one loves updating the CRM, including me. But for an owner or for someone who's looking after the team, the sanctity of data or the data hygiene is really important, because when you are looking for that candidate in future, if the data is not maintained properly, they may or may not be searchable. And plus, you don't have all the data on your fingertips. You don't have enough context if the data hygiene is not maintained. So the update CRM agent allows you to do that. Now, depending on the activity that happens on a profile, be it on candidate, job, or the context, it can be resume, it can be a custom activity. This agent can be triggered and then it automatically fills up all the system and custom fields on the profile. It not only fills all the information, but also tells you what is the reasoning behind suggesting this information. We have released it to close to 70 plus companies right now. And we have seen some really good results when it comes to suggesting. It's as good, if not better, than a human encoding all of these fields. If you want to give it a try, do let us know. You can try it on the candidate page. Currently, we have the on-demand agent, but starting from next month, we launch a lot of automated agents as well. Now, another agent that we have already launched and will be part of our AIRA ecosystem is the submission agent. The submission agent essentially takes into account the candidate CV, the job description, the candidate fields, and then creates a submission email for you. Now, you can directly use this submission email or use it as a starting point. What we have seen is that close to 60% of the submission emails currently for users who are using this are being sent using this agent, and users who are using it are able to save 70% of their time. Now, this enables you to instead of focusing on looking at resume, looking at job description, and then coming up probably with a rough draft in 5 to 7 minutes, you can start off with this agent. It will suggest you a email that you can send out, and you can work on top of it if you want to add any manual edits as well. Now, let me quickly show you how this entire ecosystem looks like. Now, this is our AIRA agent hub. Now, you can see currently we have 5 agents enabled here. Next week, we are planning to release 2 more, and the week after that, probably 2 or 3 more. So you'll see all these agents visible here. And all of this are currently enabled. You can obviously enable or disable any agent that you want. And then you can configure these agents as well. For instance, let's say for update candidate field, now this is an on-demand agent. An on-demand agent is an agent that needs to be triggered. So it won't work automatically, but a user would need to click on an icon to run this agent, and then this agent will suggest values. This works on candidate. You can choose where you want to see this agent on file, email, call, Chrome extension, node, scorecard, custom activity. Depending on where you trigger this agent from, it will take that context into its memory, along with all the information out there on the profile into its memory, and then suggest you updates. Let me quickly show you how that looks like. So I'm on Amok's profile here, and I just did a screening activity with him where I wrote down all the important pointers about this particular candidate. I know that Amog helped a SaaS company scale from 1 million to 10 million, was in B2B SaaS, is currently earning around 200K, looking for 25% increase, all of that. Now, if I want to, let's say, trigger the manual, the number of agents available here. So I'll just show you a quick one. So let's say if I want to run any agent, I can just click here. Now this will take the entire candidate information available on the profile, including system field, custom fields, all of that, along with the context that the user is triggering, and then will suggest you fields based on that. It also not just suggests you fields, but also tries to find reason behind suggesting those fields. Now, this is very complex LLM working here. And in this case, we can see it was everything is updated. But another agent that we can use here is suggest field updates. Now, this agent not only takes into account this screening activity, but also it takes into account your recent 100 interactions with the candidate or the contact, and then suggests you field updates accordingly. So let's say if I want to, I can just hit suggest field updates on AIRA, and then it's going to suggest me field updates. So you can see here, in Amog's resume, it's mentioned that he knows in this custom activity, it's mentioned that he knows English, Spanish, and French. It pulled up that. It knows that the market is Americas. You can see here it pulled up that. It also shows their current salary, which is 200K, and they expect a 25% bump. So 250K, one click, that. Now all these custom fields have been updated. Right now, these agents are on demand, but we are working on making it automated, and a lot of these will be released next month. So you can see everything now has been automated. The submission agent, the way it triggers is that, let's say if I decide to submit a candidate for a job, I can just trigger submission agent from here. Again, it goes through the candidate's resume, job description, it goes through their information, and then creates an email, something like this. So you can see here, it talks about the candidate, it talks about their career highlights. This gives you a good starting point, and all of these career highlights are based on the job description. So you can always edit it. The resume is automatically attached, and once you are ready to go, just hit send email, and this submission email will be sent to the candidate, the contact, automatically. So these are some of the agents that we have right now, and you'll keep on seeing a lot more agents almost every 2 weeks. Keep coming to the AIRA Agents Hub page to see and set up more agents so that you can do more work through agents and you can focus on those conversations. The next agent that we're talking about is job change alert. So what we saw with a lot of our users, so in fact, we did a case study on this as well, and through some industry reports as well, what we realized was that a majority of the candidates, especially if you have been running an agency for more than 7 or 8 years, majority of your new hires are actually sitting in your database, but you always discover them on a third-party platform. The primary reason in most of these cases is outdated data. You don't trust the data hygiene and you don't trust the data inside your database. So that's why you end up spending on multiple database providers, wherein you can just use your own database as a USP or as your own niche, wherein you can work on top of that if that database is maintained. And that's where Job Change Alert comes in. It helps you keep your database fresh, updated, and helps you decrease reliance on third-party providers and helps you build your own USP in your own niche. So tomorrow you can have your entire market or some major part of the market mapped out, and you can rely for quite a few hires on your own database itself. It not only does that, this freshness and these job changes can also help you enable uh, more deals or can help you get more deals. Let's say if a candidate you have been talking to joins a new role, they might be looking to expand their team. So you can reach out to them. If they, let's say, leave a company, company might be looking to hire a replacement. That might be your foot in the door. So it can also help you increase those probability of landing those deals and helping you get more revenue. The job change alert section is again under the agents tab. So if you come here, you go to job change alert, you can see all the candidate and contact job change alerts that are there in the database. It shows you their past title and their current title, their job name, all of that. You can choose to accept these changes one by one. Or if you want, you can also automate these. So for instance, let's say I can just enable automation here so that whenever their job changes, it automatically updates. And I can also add another setting if there a lot of people tend to add things like advisor, investor, consultant on their profile, and they may not be working full time there. So you can essentially remove these things by just checking this. So if the candidate still works at their current company, in that case, it won't update the profile. Job change alert helps you keep your database clean. Helps you keep your database accurate so that you can find the next hire that you're trying to find. You can find it in your database itself. And how can you find good candidates in your database? That's where AIRA Matchmaker comes in. With fresh data, AIRA Matchmaker can essentially help you find needle in haystack. A lot of times, the JD might not tell you what the candidate or what kind of type of candidate you're looking for. And it's very difficult to use filters to find such candidates. And that is where AIRA Matchmaker comes in. Since majority of these hires are already in your database, the question is how do we find them faster? Now with AIRA Matchmaker, you can define the criterias that you are looking up for. We use the job description to generate these criterias by default. But again, sometimes the job description doesn't tell you the full story. So you can adjust these criterias and then generate results. Now, once these results are generated, you can see a match score against each of these candidates. And then if you dive deeper, you can also see why we suggest this match score. Let me quickly show you how we do that. For this, I just have to go to an account where we have some more data. It's as simple as, so when you land on a job, we use the job description here to essentially generate certain criteria. So I just click on generate. From the JD that we have, again, as you can see, since the JD is not exhaustive, I only have certain parameters. You can add more parameters here. So here to have experience in Northern market. And then I just hit generate AIRA Matchmaker. I can add as many criteria that I want. I can also make some criteria priority. I would suggest you to not mark more than one or two criteria priority, because otherwise the results will be too narrow. And just play around with these criteria so that you can find the candidate that you're looking for. Once you hit generate AI matches, you'll get an email once these matches are ready. And now, once these matches are ready, this is how it looks like. So you'll see view here. You can always regenerate these matches. But if I click on view, it shows me all the matches for this particular job that have been generated based on the criteria. You can see these criteria here. You can always edit these criteria, add more or remove certain criteria. You can choose to search within the current set of results or start from scratch. Start from scratch might take more time because it goes to an entire database. Now, this search is a lot more complex than your typical filter or just keyword-based search. It essentially vectorizes an entire database and then creates resume clusters. And whenever you are looking for certain criteria, we try to find out and create resume clusters which will be suitable for these criteria. And once we identify and create those resume clusters, we use LLM on top of it to find the most relevant match. For instance, in this case, I could see that, okay, Ariel has a 91% criteria score, Timothy has 80. Now, if I click here, I can also see why. So 7 to 10 years of experience in talent acquisition management, that's a go. 100, and I can see candidate has over 10 years. Experience in screening, sourcing, networking, done. Again, you can see here. And then the third parameter as well, they completely, they have done that. So you can see all of this out here. And then in one click, you can add this candidate to the job. Or if you find these actions or these candidates not relevant, you can always disqualify them. If by any chance you have any feedback or you don't find these matches relevant, you can just move to the bottom section. We have a button here where you can just give us a feedback. We always look at these feedbacks to make our AI AIRA matchmaker better. We release every week so that this matchmaker can do a much better job at finding candidates. So this is a bit about some of the agents that we have been working. Apart from these AIRA agents, we have also released a lot of new features as well. So let me just quickly take you through these. Before we jump there, there is a quick poll. So which daily task still eats the most recruiters' hours at your agency? You can answer this, and we can share the results. So our objective is, in a long run, help you automate some of these things so that you can focus on doing recruiting and not admin. So we'll share the results of these on the email that we'll be sending out after the webinar. Now coming here to what platform advancements did we launch? So we released quite a few as well in the last quarter. The first one is Marketing Automation Suite. Now, a lot of our users had told us earlier that because of our linkage with Gmail and Office, it's not possible for them to send reach outs at scale. Sometimes you don't want to target a certain individual, but you want to do a broader reach out. And that's where marketing campaign comes in handy. These emails are not sent from your inbox. These emails are sent via third-party infrastructure provider. Now, these emails don't ruin your domain reputation. Obviously, the open rates or the reply rates are going to be lower because they are not being sent out from a person. So the probability of them landing in primary inbox would be less, but still, you will be able to reach a wider audience in thousands, probably tens of thousands as well. The objective here is essentially to broadcast a candidate, a positioning, or a message. It should not be used for targeted outreach. And you can use this to send your MPC campaigns. You can use it to send out newsletters. You can use it to scale reach outs as well. So if you're reaching to probably 50 or 60 people in a day, I would still suggest you to go with the automated email. But if you're reaching to probably more than 200 people in a day or 300 people in a day, or occasionally, say for Christmas, you want to reach out to an entire database, then marketing email is the way to go. Let me quickly show you how the marketing campaign also looks like. So this marketing campaign is, or email is, nothing but a step inside your campaign itself. So for instance, let's say if I am on this campaign out here, this is a marketing email campaign. You can see here it has 3 touch points. You can add a marketing email campaign from add step out here. This is part of the advanced plan. You can just add this similar to an email. You can just add your email text here. But when sending it, we won't use your G Suite or Office 365, but rather use a third-party infra to reach out. You can create these emails. For instance, I just created this NPC campaign where I can add hundreds, if not thousands of users. And if I don't know them, I'll probably use this to reach out to them. You can get and any reply that you get comes to your inbox. You can set up marketing email campaigns, not just for your primary email, but also for your aliases. So that some emails can go from a marketing email campaign. Some emails can also go from your aliases as well. But yeah, if you want to do reach outs, then I would suggest using this. But if you know someone, if you want to do a close reach out, I would always suggest automated emails. Now we have a quick poll coming up next. So the next poll is essentially about how do you keep your clients updated. Let me just quickly, yeah. So the next poll is about how do you keep your clients updated about the jobs you're working on. So we are coming up with quite new features, or a couple of new features that will essentially help you collaborate with your clients in a better way. Oh. So I think a lot of our users send out a weekly status email. And in fact, the next feature that we'll probably talk about will help you probably add an attachment to that weekly status email. So as you can see, a lot of us use weekly status email to send out summary of what we are working on with our clients. The next feature is about that. Search summary report. So essentially, search summary report helps you achieve that collaboration with your clients. Let me just quickly show you how it can be done. A search summary is essentially a summary that you can create for a particular job, which again can be created in a client-friendly PDF, and that PDF can be shared with the client. You can choose which candidates you want to share. You can choose which fields that you want to share. And then you can also add information while creating that doc. Let me quickly show you how that can be done. So let's say I am on this page and now I want to create a search summary report. What I can do is that I can just click on the 3 dots here and click on generate search summary. And then I can choose which stages should be shared with the client. Out here, I have chosen sourced, recruiter screen, client submission, client interview, and a disqualification reason of culture mismatch. Obviously, I don't want to share all the disqualified candidates. So we give you flexibility of only sharing candidates with certain disqualification reasons. You can keep on adding more stages. Once you add these stages, you can add the fields that you would like to see here. You can just choose any field that you want. It can be a system field, it can be a custom field, it can be a job candidate custom field as well. And once you do that, you can choose to include hidden candidates. So we have a new feature where you can hide candidates from your client, from the client portal, or from these reports. So in this case, I have decided to hide hidden candidates and include my branding here. I can just click on generate summary. Now, this is the editable PDF version. So let's say I find here that, okay, for certain candidate, this thing is missing. So I can just click on edit here and I can type in no. So this is a Visibic editor. So what you see is what you get. You can edit any cell here and then customize information. If you want to remove any information, you can do that as well. Once done, just click on export to PDF. That's it. The search summary has been generated, and now you can use this PDF with your branding to share it with your client. We are also releasing another report here in this month where you'll be able to share shortlisted, longlisted, inapplicable candidates as well with your clients in a separate report. It's going to be called Search Progress Report. Coming back to what we are working on. So we also released a new engagement type. So a lot of our users had this feedback that they want the flexibility of including retained and contingent under one engagement type. Sometimes an engagement model may not be retained or may not be contingent. You get some fee upfront, but when the candidate gets placed, that fee gets deducted from your commissions. That's what this engagement model helps you do. The way you can achieve is that you can just go on any job and change its engagement type. So for instance, this job already has this engagement type called project that we released. I'll just show you how that works. You can head over to the billing section, and then in this case, the job already has a project fee attached to it. You can change its engagement type, or let's say if the job has any other engagement type, you can shift it to project. If you're creating a job, you can add project as the new engagement type. And then once you do that, we allow you to add project fee. Now, this project fee can be added at any point in time. It can be added at the beginning of a search, in between a search, anytime you like. And when a candidate gets placed after that event, this project fee is deducted from your final commission so that you can accurately track how much revenue you're getting when someone gets placed. For instance, in this case, whenever I place someone, since I have already been paid $5,000, I'll have an adjusted revenue of $15,000 from placement, which is essentially 20,000 minus 5,000. You can give it a try. You can help it to track revenues so that your entire data is stored on Recruiterflow, and then you can track it with time how different engagement models are performing and how the business is also looking as well. Now, coming to few last updates that we had in the quarter. But before we do that, there is a quick poll. So from what I have heard from some of the users that I've been talking to, last quarter was getting better, is getting better. Not as bad as last year, but still there are certain uncertainties out there. And this is something we can see from our poll as well. So around 75% of our users find it either steady or accelerating, which is a good news. I just hope 2026 follows a similar or a better trend so that we can help more people get hired, help more companies get better talent. Let me quickly share the results of this poll as well. So as you can see, close to 76% of us believe it's either steady or accelerating, around 24% softening. I hope next time we are talking, probably that 24% decreases further, but keeping my fingers crossed. So the last few features, so a lot of our users has also suggested us that they want to store certain fields not at the candidate level or for a candidate, but rather at a job plus candidate level. For instance, fit score. While a candidate may not be fit for one job, they can be a very good fit for the other job. But it's very difficult to store it at a candidate field level. So that's why we brought in this feature of creating job candidate custom fields where you can add and store uh, job centric candidate fields. These fields can be used in recipes, they can be used in campaigns, they can be used in templates, they can be searched. So, so that you have all the information that you need on your fingertips. You can also, in fact, see these fields on the Kanban view of on the jobs page as well to make faster decisions. And another thing that's related to it that we released is essentially mandatory fields for stage movement. That brings us back to the point of data hygiene. A lot of times, while recruiters move a candidate to submission stage, their profile may not be accurately filled. They may not have their expected compensation or certain fields that um, the managers would like to see or we as owners would like to see. It becomes then difficult for the entire team to have faith in that data and to have all that data available to you whenever you need. And that is why for to maintain that data hygiene sanity, now you can define mandatory fields for any stage movement. These work on individual stage movement as well as bulk stage movement. And you can define mandatory fields for any stage by going to settings and then job settings. Once you do that, whenever a candidate moves to that stage, users would need to define these fields if not already filled. Let me just quickly show you both of these things. So I'm on this candidate called John Wig here. Now I'm trying to hire John Wig. That's a difficult job. So coming to job candidate field, all of these are visible here. So you can see here, currently I haven't added any value, but if I click on edit, I can see all of these things that I can fill up at the job level. So for this job, John can probably start at around 22nd. He doesn't need a visa sponsorship, and his probably is a strong fit for this role. I do that, and all of this data gets updated for this job and becomes searchable. Now, let me quickly try moving this stage to client submission. Oops, I didn't fill in certain fields. Now I need to go back and see what the information was and fill those fields. Why not just simply use AIRA for that? Because this profile may have all the information out there. And as you can see, the current comp is 100K, expected is 20% higher, except field updates, and move stage. Done. Now you can see the stage moved because the fields were filled. All of these fields were in fact pre-filled and suggested by AIRA based on the last 100 activities that I had with this candidate. Now this is how you can use Recruiterflow and AIRA with each other so that the data hygiene is there and AIRA acts as a digital twin. Let's say if I didn't have this information, I might have to search through the entire activity log to find this information. Now with AIRA, it's available in one click. So these were some of the updates that we released in last quarter. There are more AIRA agents coming in Q4. So we are working on creating outreach agent, which helps you create personalized email in sequencing in different emails, which can be personalized at candidate level using AI blocks or LLM. The task agent creates tasks and follow-up tasks after any call you finished using the AI Notetaker. Scorecard agent will help you fill scorecards based on any interaction that you had with a candidate. Research agent will help you do business prospecting, where you just feed a company to research agent. It goes out, finds all the information about the company, and gives it to you. Apart from this, salary agent is also about to be live. So as you can see, any conversation about salary on the candidate, AIRA was able to pick it up and add it to the database in one click. And it's going to be automated. So any salary discussion that you have had, the salary agent will essentially pick that information up and update the custom fields. Apart from these AIRA agents, Some of the things that we plan to release in the coming quarter uh, are going to be goal tracking. So you will be able to create and define goals on Recruiterflow for different users, for different teams, and for your own company as well. They can be weekly goals, monthly goals, annual goals, could be related to submissions, revenue, new jobs. And then you can see how different teams are performing, how different users are performing. You can benchmark them against each other. We also got a lot of feedback on our task system. So we are launching a revamped version of task either this month or early next month, where you will be able to take quick actions from the task page itself, set up recurring task, see task widget on the dashboard, and all of that. Another interesting release that we are working on is multi-channel sequencing. So currently you can send out messages via emails, via uh, marketing email, SMS, but in future you will be able to send out messages via social uh, media messaging, the most famous professional network. You will be able to send out messages or connection request on that. You will be able to send out or create tasks for calling or SMS. And then you'll also be able to add conditions or branching to your sequences. So this will be a much more advanced version of what we have right now. The next thing which I'm very excited about is our AIRA Discover, which is a sourcing engine inside Recruiterflow that helps you get candidates from outside and helps you find those candidates inside Recruiterflow. So AIRA Discover, we plan to release this quarter and will help you find more relevant candidates and again, decreasing your reliance on external providers and helping you get these candidates on Recruiterflow itself. And then we are also working on enabling natural language search to search across a database on Recruiterflow. Now, a lot of times recruiters may or may not know how to use filters properly, but they always know what kind of candidates they are looking for. So that is what the natural language search will enable you to do. You can just type in a query like find me product managers in New York area working for a Series B fintech company. It will the engine will try to identify what candidate attributes are you looking out for using from this natural query that you had, and then suggest you candidates from your database. So these are some of the things that we plan to release in Q4. Next year, we'll be working heavily again on AI and some UI revamp. And we're always open to your feedback. If you have any feedback, feel free to let our team know. We constantly pick some of these features up. In fact, some of the features that we talked about today are based on feedback. So that's very critical for us to build a better product together. So these were some of the features that we released in Q4.